Hi everyone, my name is Grace and today I'll be talking about how to do my favorite thing in the world, which is running. In the spirit of running, I decided to attach some of my favorite race bibs on my wall and I'll be putting my full collection here. I love running and thinking happy thoughts. If you're a beginner or experienced runner, I hope my tips will benefit you. So you're sitting here on your computer, surrounded by photos of most motivational fitness and health quotes on Tumblr or Instagram. This makes you want to give fitness a try because you are inspired by all the benefits. So you decide to join your school's cross-country team or train for your first 5K. I'm just so happy that you clicked on my video because that means you want to. There are many important factors to keep in mind, most importantly being recovering, eating, and sleeping well. This will all help you prevent injury and physical and mental. Patience is the key to success. Progress takes time. We all start somewhere, and as long as you keep moving forward, you should be proud of yourself. Don't compare your page 1 to someone else's page 1000. For many people, you shouldn't go into fitness with the goal of losing weight. The purpose of fitness is to make the most of your health and physical accomplishment. You should strive for health goals, not physical goals, because those will take you further in life, and at the end, you'll be more satisfied with that. When you start running, you need to make it a habit. You need to make it a lifestyle, because success only comes if you practice often. Number 1, plan. Setting up a plan helps you know what to do every day in order to keep moving forward. I recommend you talk to your coach or professional to come up with an individual plan because we all come from different fitness backgrounds. If you have no running background, then I recommend you start with alternating between running and walking cycles. And number 2, I'm going to talk about what you need. Shoes. Invest in a good pair of shoes. It will affect your experience and reduce the number of injuries you will get. Don't just go to Walmart or Target. You should go to a specialty sports or running store because they have people there that can examine your feet and arch and look at your running form to determine which is the best shoe for you. The lifespan of a typical running shoe is about 300 to 500 miles. I like to buy several pairs of similar shoes because they last longer if you alternate between wearing each one of them. When I find a shoe I like, they usually update their model every year. For example, I really like the ASICS GT 2000 and it's been working for me for about 3 years, and I go back to find the same model in the store every year and I get different colors too. But sometimes it's also good to switch up the brands a little so you don't keep using the exact same muscles. I also like Brooks because they fit me similar to ASICS, and I think this is the Brooks GTS 14. I have a relatively flat foot, flat and wide foot, so I need a shoe with relatively strong arch support and a wide shoe, and those are shoes that just work for me and might work for you too if you are in the same situation as me. I have a relatively flat foot, flat and wide foot, so I need a shoe with relatively strong arch support and a wide shoe, and those are shoes that just work for me and might work for you too if you are in the same situation as me. I also use a heat moldable orthotic. The brand is Soul, and there is this guy running on it. I guess his name is Dean and he's some kind of like ultra runner or something, but I like this brand because you can heat it up into the oven for about 200 degrees for a minute, and then you step on it for a minute and it molds into the shape of your foot. I like it better than Superfeet, which is what a lot of other people use, because this one molds specifically to the shape of your foot. I gotten shin splints in the past before when I was running in a shoe without arch support, and just getting these arch supports helped my shins become a lot happier. And the second thing you need would be clothes. I like to get my shorts from Target and Old Navy because they're cheaper and they're good quality. They lasted me a really long time. I don't need those fancy Nike stuff, even though they're comfortable, but Target and Old Navy shirts are really comfortable as well. And I love Target and Old Navy because they have a good selection of happy, bright colors that symbolize the positivity that this sport brings to me. So here, I got these for about $8 at Old Navy, and these for $4 at Old Navy. There was like this 75% off sale. I only shop when there are sales. And I also got these really comfortable running leggings that I like to wear in the cold or it's raining or in the winter from Target for about $8 or $10 on sale too. And I usually just wear a standard cotton t-shirt like this when I run, and I get most of my t-shirts. Probably about 80 or 90% of my closet is just filled with t-shirts from me. And when you go to a sports store, you may see those goos or those energy and caffeine gels on your way to the cashier. A lot of beginner runners are attracted to those because they taste like candy. I don't think they're necessary if you're running for less than 1.5 hours because they're loaded with sugar and caffeine and your waistline might not appreciate you if you consume them. You usually see people handing those out at marathons. And plus, if you're just running, it's just better to eat real food. Real food tastes better and healthy and natural. And number 3, I'll talk about progression. Most people use the 10% rule. Increase your mileage by no more than 10% each week. Have an easy, low mileage recovery week every 3 to 4 weeks. Try to balance the amount you run every day so it can be a sustainable habit. Make sure to include at least 1 rest day a week and listen to your body. Take breaks if you need to, and the last thing you want is to burn out or an injury because those are just really sad things that I've experienced before and don't wish anybody to experience that. For me, I started running around winter break of 8th grade, and the longest run I did before then was probably 2.5 miles in PE. And I started running because my mother, one day, she decided to get healthier, so she'll pay me $6 an hour to go to the gym with her. And the gym, there was little TVs mounted on the treadmill, so I just went on those. I started running about 2 miles just 2 to 3 days a week, and then I slowly worked my way up to 3 miles and 4 miles, up to 6 miles 5 to 6 days a week by June. But when I first started running, I never ran outside unless it was for school because I liked the TVs on the treadmills at the YMCA. But one day, I was watching Food Network and I tripped. The next thing I knew, I was holding onto the handlebars. So I was kind of hanging like this, and the conveyor belt was slowly eroding away my shins. Thankfully, the adjacent treadmill was empty, so I jumped on that and it saved my legs. It's been about 4 years and I still have the scars now, but I remember not being able to comfortably take a shower after that for the next few weeks. And that was probably one of the most nastiest injuries I ever got because there was like pus all oozing out of my legs, all those my wonderful white blood cells trying to fight all the bacteria, and yeah, it was not really fun. So if you're just starting out, then I highly recommend running outside because the treadmill can also mess up your form and you don't want to make the same mistake I did by paying attention to the TV and actually tripping and kind of just scarring my legs and instilling a fear of treadmill. If you live in the Arctic and all you have access to is a treadmill, don't let that turn you away from running. Just pay attention to your form and maybe listen to music instead of watch TV. And number 4, I'm going to talk about racing. Planning a race could also be a great motivation to run. You don't always have to focus on breaking personal records or running fast times at a race. A lot of times, races are just meant to be about bringing the local community together and making fitness fun. You can find local 5Ks up to marathons, and there are also lots of theme races like black light races or color 5Ks in big cities like Color Me Rad or the Color Run, which I was never able to do because my parents were afraid the chemicals would give me cancer or something, but I would love to do one day. And number 5, I'm going to talk about running surfaces. I wish I'd known this when I first started running. During my summer before 10th grade, I ran on concrete or asphalt, but basically in the neighborhoods and my streets every day. And as a result of running on that hard surface that are bad for my knees and my joints and my legs, I ended up being injured for the next year. You should always aim for a softer surface when you run. Trails are the best, but some people, like me, live kind of far from a trail, and the next best thing is a rubber. If you live in a big city or have to run in a neighborhood around asphalt and concrete all the time because your team runs there, I For me, I usually like to sometimes run on those grassy patches by people's house. Usually each house a little grassy patch, but don't tell my neighbors. And the black asphalt on the street is a bit softer than the concrete on the sidewalk, but you have to be really careful for cars. If you're on a busy street, I think it's better not to risk your life and to risk an overuse injury, so you should stay in the concrete if there are lots of cars around. And number 6, I'm going to talk about what you're going to do if you get bored. Running can be very boring if you're just circling around the track because you want to protect your joints. I love running with a friend with the same fitness level, of course, so we can keep each other accountable and not go too slow or too fast. If I'm just running by myself in the summer or something, I prefer listening to podcasts rather than music because I love to learn. I love working at my brain and my body at the same time because that double productivity just makes me feel really accomplished and just really awesome. Some podcasts I enjoy listening to would be New Tech City, but it's now called Note to Self. They talk about how technology is like shaping our psychological behaviors and like how social media impacts society. I think that's just really fascinating. And stuff you should know: This American Life, Freakonomics, Runner Academy, and Run to the Top. And number 7, patience is really important. In 10th grade, when I increased my mileage more than ever, I was running about 7 to 9 miles a day, and I've been running about a year maybe. And a lot of times I would do Zumba, boot camp, or cycling with my mother at the YMCA in the evening. And I didn't have that long of a running background, and I got too excited and let my excitement take me to do very detrimental things that led to an injury. Maybe the MVP of your school's cross-country team is running 60 miles a week. This doesn't mean you have to. She may have started running back in elementary or middle school and worked her way up. You can do the same too one day. And number 8, don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. No matter how much progress you've made, there will always be people ahead of you and people behind you. Don't let this get you down. We are all unique and good at different things. As long as you keep putting your best foot forward and be humble and don't make others feel inferior, then you have my full respect. And number 8, don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. No matter how much progress you've made, there will always be people ahead of you and people behind you. Don't let this get you down. We are all unique and good at different things. As long as you keep putting your best foot forward and be humble and don't make others feel inferior, then you have my full respect. And number 9, food is energy. Make sure you have a good balance of carbs, fat, and proteins at each meal. Aim for half your calories coming from complex carbohydrates, 1/4 protein, and the last 1/4 healthy fats. By the way, your brain is made of mostly fats. And don't eat too much before a run, or sometimes I make the mistake of eating too much before a race. I end up feeling like throwing up afterwards. Try to eat something easy to digest about 2 or 3 hours before a run, or an hour before sometimes, if I'm just running in the morning and I need something to eat before I go to practice. And I like to, before a run, you should aim to eat something more in carbs and less in protein and fats because those are easy to digest. I really like eating fruit and some nuts. My favorite nuts are almonds. And I really like bananas and apples. I'll make a separate video talking about my favorite foods, which means you should subscribe so you won't miss that. And number 10, sleep and rest are essential. I try to sleep for at least 7 to 9 hours a day, no more than 9 because that makes me more tired. Sleep is not a waste of time. Sleep is part of recovery, and recovery is part of training and getting better and stronger. And number 11, your first competitive race. Some people may just want to run for recreation. Others, like me, like to run competitively for a race, to PR, to run a personal best, and to win. And both can be fun. Before an important race like state finals or Foot Locker Nationals, I like to taper and carb load. I do my last hard workout, probably like 800s on the track or some kind of track workout, about 2 to 3 days before my race, and I also decrease my mileage. I usually run about 2 to 3 miles at an easy pace the day before. Before a race, I also love to carb load. and eat lots of glucose because that's gonna turn into wonderful ATP by all the hard-working, wonderful mitochondria in all my muscle cells. I love my mitochondria, and you should love all your mitochondria too. Be nice to your mitochondria by feeding it lots of glucose. Most high school races, you will be running a 5K, which is 5 kilometers, 3.125 miles. So if I'm running a 5K, then I warm up with about a 20-minute jog, 1 hour to 45 minutes before the starting point of the race. Before I go warm up, I also like to eat half a Cliff Bar. I also make sure to clear my colon and bladder. And if it means peeing in the bushes because the lines are too long, then it means peeing in the bushes. I care about my time and comfort, and if one person sees me, I'm sure they'll understand because we need to clear our colon in order to run comfortably. Once I was running at Crystal Springs, which is where we have a lot of our league races, the gun was about to go off in about 10 minutes. I really need to pee, and all the bathroom stalls, all the porta potties were filled with people who were about to race, so I can't use that excuse where, oh, I have to run, I have to cut in front of you. So I peed in the bushes, and I didn't know it was actually behind someone's backyard, and I hope no one saw me, but at least I ended up finishing. I think I did pretty well in that race, and I think I broke my school record. So yeah, peeing in the bushes, really good. So after about my 20-minute warm-up jog before a race, I stretch. And my pre-race ritual also includes doing the splits in all different directions at the starting line because I just love doing the splits. It just makes me happy for some reason. And I also start doing drills about 10 to 20 minutes before. I like doing lots of like strides, high knees, butt kickers, scissor kicks, etc. And drills kind of help warm up my brain to get in the mood of fast running. I know that races can be nerve-wracking, so during the race, I like to think happy thoughts. Races are fun because you have the opportunity to celebrate all the hard work you put in and a chance to surprise yourself. I don't think about the consequences. I don't think if there are people who are faster than me in this race. I think about what an amazing, talented, and hardworking person I am. I think about how much I deserve success, how capable I am of unleashing that powerful kick at the end when everybody's dying and I'm just like, yeah. I also enjoy the pain. Pain indicates that I am achieving all that is possible in that given moment. I also run my own race. I focus on how much effort I am putting in because I can't control others, so there's no use letting that get you down or letting that pressure you. So those are all my tips. I hope I motivated you to subscribe so you can see more videos in the future like this. I really enjoy talking to the camera, so you'll definitely be seeing me in your subscription box for more helpful advice if you subscribe. Blogging is also one of my favorite things to do, and I have lots of running life school advice tips on there too, and I hope I can benefit you and shed some positivity in your wonderful life. I hope you have a wonderful day. Run happy and keep thinking happy thoughts.